Shane Sevo. I just started a new job today with Commercial Progression. It's not quite a startup, but it certainly feels like that. A couple years of web services, serving a variety of clients in the open source world. Done a lot of work for U of M, TRW site we did last year, and so if anyone has a web project that they need professional web support for, love to talk to you about that. So without too many more introductions and overview, basically the way this evening is going to work is that we have our star guest speaker, Amy Butler, and she's going to have about 10 to 15 minutes to present OU Inc. and what the opportunities here are for entrepreneurs, and then we're going to hand it over to our entrepreneur presenters tonight. You'll have 5 minutes to pitch, and then we'll have a quick turnaround to 5 minutes of question and answer. Does that sound right? And so that's pretty much the format. So one presentation, 5 presenters, and without too much more ado, I would like to introduce to you Amy Butler, the Executive Director of OU Inc. And before that, just looking through her resume, a lot of experience. 32 years is what is the number that I saw for Michigan governance. Is it mostly in Michigan? Yeah. And a lot of work in the energy sector. Seems like that has been a priority and focus, and certainly something that is a development growth area for Michigan as far as the technology. So I'm excited to hear about her perspective on that area of technology and where it intersects. So I'll hand it over and let her finish her introduction and take it away.
Thank you, Shane. It's a pleasure to have all of you here tonight. We're pretty excited. This is our first adventure with DNewTech, and we're hoping that it will be one of many. We're really excited to see so many people here tonight as well. As Shane said, my name's Amy Butler, and I'm the Executive Director here. I've been here about 3 years. I came from state of Michigan government, worked in environmental compliance, environmental stewardship, and worked with companies all through in business development in relation to being able to meet their regulatory requirements, but also as urban redevelopment of brownfield sites and being able to help diversify manufacturers into new spaces. When the economic crashes were coming, then we would help them retool and help them get the resources they need to figure out how to work in a new space. So an automotive manufacturer may be able to now manufacture with wind, or they might be able to take some of that automotive technology and experience and put it into the medical device field. So it's been really exciting for me to come back to Oakland, my alma mater, and be able to serve both the region and the university in this capacity, and now helping our entrepreneurs do the same thing, take those new technologies, put them out on the market, and be able to be successful. A lot of our companies that are in Michigan need innovation, and they look to the entrepreneur, they look to the startups, the people to be able to help bring those innovations to bear. They look to entrepreneurs to help them solve problems that they might not be able to figure out on their own. You'll hear from a couple of companies that we have that are part of our portfolio of companies here tonight, and you'll hear how they help the industry sector they work in solve those problems. You mentioned that I have a background in energy, so obviously one of the areas that we focus on is energy. We also work with information technology companies and medical device companies. Those seem to be areas where the university has strong research and development capabilities, subject matter experts. But more important, they're one of the industry sectors. They're each part of the industry sector. They're very important to this region and that employ a lot of people in this region. So the startups with innovation to help those industry sectors is very important. We're a SmartZone, so we're able to provide services to entrepreneurs, such as access to some of the state funding tools. We're all the other standard business services tools. We can help you get started. We can connect you to subject matter experts. We can help you build your business plan, look at your finance strategy. A lot of times entrepreneurs will come in and say, I want money. Well, most of them need some coaching before they're ready for money. Because the last thing you want to do is actually get money and then go, oh gosh, now what? So that's one of the things that we really help you look at strategically. While you're doing the business plan, we also look at, well, what do you need financially? What's your finance strategy? Does it make sense to get an SBIR? Does it make sense to then move into a business accelerator fund? Are you beyond that where you're appropriate or ready for angel? If you get those fundings, maybe you're not even maybe you're not even going to look at those kind of funding tools. Maybe you have to use a different kind of funding tool in order for you to achieve your objectives. So we really work with you in figuring those out. We certainly have access to student interns as well through the university. We have a number of students that work with our portfolio of clients. And we also, on occasion, will have opportunities for companies to come in and meet some of our entrepreneur students, which are your talent of tomorrow. We have opportunities where some of our startups may promote projects that a student team may be able to work on and develop with them. So we're really starting to explore all of those ways that we can bring some of the assets of the university and the needs of the entrepreneurs and put them together. Our medical device clients, we just recently were able to bring them in and actually have them meet some of our first and second year med students in our medical school to help them try to find projects to be able to do their capstone projects on. So a lot of different opportunities that we're able to bring together for a whole slate of services. But even then, what makes it even better to work here is that I've got two phenomenal partners here tonight that you'll hear from as well, and they're going to help me in watching the pitches and providing some comments and feedback to our companies. And one is my sister Incubator Executive Director, Julie Gustafson. Oakland University is unique in that we have two incubators in two different counties. And we do that intentionally. So Julie's incubator is similar to this, but different in many ways as well. A SmartZone in Macomb County, focuses on homeland security, defense, advanced manufacturing. We work together with each other. We actually share a couple of staff. But then we're out in our local county so that we can work with the economic development of those areas. And in fact, I'm going to mention this at least 3 times tonight. Big money opportunity coming up. Did I get your attention? Money? Okay, one more time. Money? Okay. We have flyer up here. Be sure you pick it up. Macomb Pitch Night. And this one, a really great opportunity. It's the first time that we've done a pitch competition. We're looking at possibly doing another one in the spring. So this is a huge opportunity to come to practice tonight and then maybe get signed up to participate in the Macomb Pitch competition for small business. First prize is $8,500, second is $1,500, and third is $500. Now, who in here couldn't use a little bit of cash? I thought so. Okay, our other partner in crime here tonight is Kathy Abad, and she is a senior experienced business development consultant for Oakland County. We work very closely with the Oakland County Economic Planning and Department as well as their small business one-stop area. And where we're a small team here, we work a lot on the technology, a lot on the financial strategy, and some of those getting you into market and moving you into the bigger market. We really look to Oakland County as a key partner, and they're able to provide some of those services that we don't, or we're able to work jointly on projects. We do a lot of that. I also work jointly with Next Energy on energy projects from Detroit. I also have a couple of clients I've shared with Wisdom, and now I've got one with Milsec. So it's all about getting all of the resources together to help you be successful as an entrepreneur. Kathy, do you want to come up and just spend a couple of minutes and talk about the resources that you have available?
Thank you, Amy. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. As Amy so graciously said, I work with the county, and it's the best job I've ever had, including owning my own business. So I was sitting where you guys are sitting at one point. I had ran a manufacturing facility in Morenci, Michigan. Does anybody know where that's at? Exactly. So, yeah. So I, as a woman business owner in a manufacturing field, and we manufactured plugs and fittings that were hydraulic, metal-to-metal seal. I had a number of patents, all the right ducks in a row. It was awesome. The SBDC, Small Business Development Center, contacted me and said, woman business owner, manufacturing, not really heard of back in a few years ago. Would you like to help promote business for entrepreneurs? And I said, absolutely, I'll do whatever I can. That was 15 years ago. I haven't looked back. I started primarily consulting with startup companies and then moved into second stage. And then I had southeastern Michigan, including Oakland County, and then Oakland County said, we'd like you to come to work for us. And 3.5 seconds later, I said, absolutely. And I haven't looked back. So what do we do at Oakland County? We work with startups. We work with pre-startups, those that are kicking the tires, saying, I'm thinking about this business. How do I vet this? Is this really a good idea? Do we have a market for it? We have 6 consultants on staff. We have 8 support staff just in our center. And then we have the whole of Oakland County to provide services for all of you. And the best part is your taxes pay for our service. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. So that means that you can come in and you can get one-on-one individual consulting with someone who's been in the trenches before. You can help, we can help you develop your loan package. We can help shop that for you, looking for vendors, financiers. We can help you connect with Oakland Incubator or Macomb or whatever. We help network all of that. We do a lot of collaboration. We do more than just sitting down with a business plan. We have some just absolutely phenomenal market research tools that we can use. So if you're looking for location analysis, new market analysis, we can help you with all of that. It's confidential, it's free. We work with you as long or as hard as you need us. We can help with process mapping. We can help with sales. And the beauty of it is that you get a consultant that's assigned to you. I've had businesses for 5-6 years now in any type of industry, any sector, any marketplace, United States and beyond. So if you haven't used us before, I've got a couple of handouts here. One, you can come in any Thursday without an appointment and meet with a consultant for free. And we can kind of tell you a little bit more about what the resources are and point you in the right direction. We also have classes, anything from write your business plan to SBA financing to legal issues with your businesses. The classes are generally a smaller fee, $40, $50, but for the most part, if you're not using the tools that are available through Oakland County and through the state of Michigan, you really need to do that. So if nothing else, if I leave you with nothing else, please consider Oakland County, even if you want to call and say, where do I go for this? That's what we're here for. So good luck to everyone, and yes.
Is that only available to Oakland County residents?
Yes and no. Let me explain. The SBDC, Small Business Development Center, they are nationwide, and they have offices throughout the United States and throughout Michigan. So Oakland County, we have an SBDC partnership. We have someone from the SBDC, actually 3 people from the SBDC sitting in our office that can help you. The Oakland County business consultants, like myself, we can only work with Oakland County businesses. So that's because the taxpayers get a little frustrated when we deal with Detroit companies. I don't know why. I would do it. Any other questions?
I'll just add that that's one of the beauties of the partnership is that we're not restricted to Oakland County, as well as Macomb is not restricted to Macomb County. So we really work collaboratively together. So there may be some things that you start with at Oakland County and come over here, and then we're able to continue on and help you grow in that respect. Or we might say, okay, we really need some help in the market research area, and grab Oakland County and have them help us assist you in that area.
Absolutely. Yes.
Where's that city at? You started?
Morenci?
Yeah, where's that?
Morenci.
Okay, so it is, let me see, it's about a 3-iron from Toledo.
3 iron from Toledo. Okay, very good.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Anybody else?
And the scary thing is, I know where Morenci is.
Yeah.
Can I mention one more thing
Yeah.
about the pitch competition? Too?
Yes.
I just wanted to give you a little bit more detail.
Stand up.
Oh, okay, stand up, I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you a little bit more detail about the pitch competition because like Amy said, everybody is always, it's one of the first questions we get asked, and you probably feel the same thing. Is where's the money? Is there money? Is there free money? So this pitch competition is free money. Well, you do have to earn it a little bit. There's an application that needs to be filled out, but the reason I wanted to get up and talk to you about that, there's a deadline. It's coming up soon. It's October 14th. This tells you how to go to the website. The application's right on the website. Fairly simple, 3 questions, a couple of them a little involved, but I just wanted to let you know that was the case. And then after that, there's a 2-week period, and we pick 8 semifinalists. And then the semifinalists go on to pitch in December, and they have to attend pitch prep, one pitch prep session, which is going to be very similar to this. Amy's actually helping out with that as well. And so I just wanted to let you know that. The only criteria really that's there is you have to be a high-tech company. You cannot be in business for more than 5 years, and you cannot make more than 2.5 million in revenues. So that's the criteria for it. So please share this information with anybody you know. It's called Macomb Pitch. That's only because it's in Macomb. It is open up to everybody in the state. So I want to let you know that. Thank you.
This is a grant, right?
Excuse me?
This is a grant.
Yeah, like Amy had mentioned, first prize, you get $8,500 in cash. Now, you do have to use it for when you pitch. We're going to be, and this is all on the website with the information on it. When you pitch, you're going to be pitching to us how you're going to use the funds. So it'll be based on using it for something that grows your business. So you'll have to use it for what you pitch or come very close to it. We realize sometimes small businesses have to pivot a little bit, but you'll be using it for some kind of growth strategy.
Any other questions for the team?
Thanks, Amy.
Okay, we're here to serve you as a...
I have a question for you. I'm wondering, how's your organization outside of this location? How's it different from Tech Town?
Well, there's a number of ways. One, location, because we are close to, and we tie directly into the university, and we're able to use the university assets. Also because of our strong partnership with Oakland County and Macomb County as well. Third is we're kind of unique in this particular area. One is our expertise, because we have a strong expertise in technology. I actually have a science background in chemistry and biology. I have engineers on staff. So we're able to look at and help you really guide some of that product development resources as well. We also have a wide space out here that you'll have an opportunity to see, which is our Technology Development Center. So in one of our companies pitching tonight actually is a tenant client out here. So you actually can rent office space here. You can also have space out in the pavilion. And even if you are an accelerator client where you're actually a tenant here, then you have access to this facility to use as it might see. The other thing that I find that makes each incubator a little bit different is their network of subject matter experts. Many of us have some of that joint network that we all share. But because we work in specific sectors, we're able to build a much deeper set of connectors to enable and assist our entrepreneurs because we focus in those sections. If I tried to figure out food and retail and drugs and energy, I would not do a good job in any of them. And if you come to me and you need some help and it's not my area of expertise, I'm going to get you to one of the incubators that does. We have a food example. We've got a food incubator down in Detroit. They're putting one in up at Midland. We have fashion in both Grand Rapids, and Lansing is doing a startup in fashion. I don't do any of those things. So that's one of the areas that helps distinguish each of the incubators is their network of subject matter experts, service providers, and the way that we're able to go into deeper results to be able to help you. But one of the neat things is Michigan is unique across the United States in that we have an integrated network of smart zones. So we can talk to each other, and we actually work with each other. And we might ship, matter of fact, I had a company that came over to this side from the west side because they're an energy product. And we wanted to look at a broader distribution. So we brought them over here, and along with Next Energy, we've been helping them. So that's one of the key ways that we're distinguished between us, is just, where's our expertise, where's our skill sets, is the location work. But we only have like two incubators that really delve deeply in energy. That's here, and then Merrick on the west side, and then Next Energy provides services back to all of those. Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
I'm going to turn it back over to Shane and let him do his great startup moderate.
Very good. Thank you for all of that. Catherine, thank you for your presentation. And sounds like a lot of great offerings to the startup entrepreneurship community, and we're certainly experiencing that tonight with your hosting. Thank you again for that. Now we're getting into our formal pitch and question and answer session. So real quick again, the rules will be 5 minutes of presentation. At 4 minutes, you'll hear the official timer make this noise. And that means you have 1 minute left to wrap up your presentation. And then we're gonna pretty much cut you off right at 5 minutes. So use that last minute wisely, and then we'll turn it over to 5 minutes of question and answer. So first up is Barry McDonald, try to see, and he has a mobile device that's helping people connect to places and each other. So, I believe you have a website that you're going to use?
Yeah, there is an out to it.
So I'll give you just enough time to get set up. I'm bringing up my timer app.
Good? All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Barry McDonald. I'm the founder of Try to See. Try to See is a mobile app that allows you to connect with people, places, and things. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to start from the back, connecting with things. We've used Try to See for an art fair, where we outfitted basically all the artists with a QR code. So they had a QR code on each of their placards at each of the booths that they're in. And the users to the fair were able to go around, scan in, get information about the artists, get links to all of their social media sites, all their contact information. And at the same time, the artists were able to see who's actually checking out their work. It's a good tool in terms of the people being able to, after they leave the fair, being able to figure out who exactly did I see while I was at the art fair. And if I need to follow up and buy that trinket I saw, I can do that at a later time, so I have all the information. We also used it during that session to pick a People's Choice winner. So we could be able to look at the scan counts at each of the artists to say which artist got the most scans. So this is connecting with things. And in that example, we can use it for a multitude of things, whether it's an art fair, a gallery, whether it's a expo. We've used it in all those different examples. In terms of connecting with places, right now we're working on the Livernois Avenue of Fashion. It's a shopping district, very famous shopping district in Detroit at one time, which is coming back. And there we worked with about 65 businesses. Basically, again, set them up with a place card like this so that as a shopper entered the Livernois Avenue of Fashion, they were able to check in with their smartphone and be able to find out what deals the business is offering. The business can actually modify their profile so that it would give different levels of discounts based on the number of check-in. So if you imagine, rather than a rewards card, I sign up once with my app. As I move around that shopping district, I can check in with different businesses. I get different information depending on which business I check in. Businesses control what deals they offer. And then the final part that I wanted to talk about today is connecting with people. We also allow users of the system to interact with each other. We've used it at things like a speed networking event where we had essentially 20 business professionals on one side of the table, 20 others on the other side of the table, and basically allow them to sit and talk, but rather than exchanging a business card, use our tool to basically exchange their business profile. Is that time? No.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah, basically be able to exchange the profile. Actually, that's what I wanted to demo for you today. So when I log into the app, it basically brings up a profile. Nice picture, right? That looks like me. Had some photoshopping done into that. But basically on your profile, you can put up a little blurb about what you do. You can put in any of your social media links, so back to LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever I wanted, phone number, email address. And basically, if I wanted to connect with someone, I basically hit the connect button. It brings up your personal QR code. Someone with the app has a QR scanner built in, and with the app I'd be able to scan the QR code. And when I do that, basically it'll exchange as soon as my QR scanner scans here. The one drawback to using QR technology. And of course it doesn't want to scan, so I'm going to go to the backup. Should have tried this before I went up here and demo.
Trying to get a QR from the screen, I think.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of.
You turn around and do the screen.
Yeah, I'm good. we're gonna skip that part. What it'll basically allow you to do is then build a network of people that you've interacted with. So as you scan their profile, they get your profile, you get their profile. Over time, you build your network of people. The nice thing about this, you can go in and then, if I'm looking for someone, I'm looking for a particular skill that I want to now refer or recommend to someone. It builds a nice word cloud based on the people in your network so that you can see the connections that you have. So for instance,
time.
Okay.
We'll let
Did I
you
miss
wrap up
that?
that last sentence.
Okay. So for instance, if I'm looking for someone with web experience, I can click web. It brings up the people in my network that have web experience. I can pick them, and then, again, if I was going to recommend to someone, I could recommend you scan it. Basically, it sends an email out to everybody letting them know that Barry recommended Beth Ann to whoever.
All right, very good. Thank you, Barry, for your presentation. And at this time, we're going to turn it around for 5 minutes of question and answer, starting now.
Sure.
Do you believe that NFC technology is poised in a competitive manner to you?
Yeah, it was. Actually, when we started with an NFC. The problem that we saw with NFC for at least the business users was that they had to deal with the technology of setting up the NFC reader. So we actually pivoted away from that and went to QR code with the explosion in mobile technology. I figure most people are going to have a mobile phone that would have the technology. So rather than putting the burden on the businesses to have the technology to do all the reading, we basically flipped the model around.
Then, second question, I hope you don't mind. If you are currently using the QR model, is it possible for you to quickly adapt to or additionally include NFC technology?
Yes, but where we're actually looking is to go to more iBeacon. So we would have an iBeacon set up in each of the stores. So if someone walks by or walks in, it'll automatically bring up the profile of that information. So it kind of gets out of that little issue you saw me having in terms of scanning. But yeah, NFC is one of the methodology, like I said, that we started with.
Thank you.
Is this going to be subscription based? How are we going to raise fees?
Yeah, it's free to the users, so the users never pay. Business subscription, because we're working in Detroit and we're targeting very, very, very small mom and pop stores where we're trying to bring technology to mom and pop. We've really put a very low entry price just to basically allow them to enter the market and start using the system. So it's a monthly subscription fee, but we also have a usage fee. So as they interact with their customers, they build up a base of the people coming into their business. They can then send out either email blasts or deal blasts back out to their customers. And for each of those deal blasts that they send out, there's a per user fee.
Well, a good example would be places uses like Innovation 2014 that's coming up. Conferences like that have workshops and stuff. I mean, this would be ideal for reminding or even promoting different workshops.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when we started it, we started with the idea of doing expos. Again, you go to an expo, there are vendors around the floor. You check in, you have your app, you go around and you check in with the people that you want to interact with. The system is actually set up so that once you check in, not only does it record, who you are for the vendor could also send you out all their literature. So rather than having, paper, it's a good way of exchanging information right away without you having to lug around a bunch of paperwork at an expo or conference. Any other questions?
No, that's okay. I was actually going to ask what he asked too, but the other question I was interested in asking is how do you plan on marketing the product? And also I was wondering, where are you at as far as commercializing the app? Is it being beta tested right now, or is it beyond that?
I would say we have both an iOS and Android version that's available right now. Beta testing, I would say we're beta testing only because there's a lot more things that we want to do with the app to try and enhance it. But right now we have it out, trying to use it with real customers, trying to understand what the issues are, trying to understand where we need to make it better. Mm-hmm. So it's a beta version from that regard, but it's a production ready.
You're going to do a little more development based on the feedback that you get. Okay.
Right.
So it's really your version 1.0 that you have in the market. You're not really beta testing.
Correct.
Version
Just version 1.0.
And you're working on 2.0.
Correct.
Are you charging any kind of fee yet? Or?
If they would pay it, I would, yes. I've kind of got a very fluid situation. I'm more interested right now in getting customers, getting users into the system. And of course, I've got the chicken and egg problem, right? I need businesses so the users have a place to go, and the businesses want to have users that will come and use it in their business. So I'm trying to work on both ends at the same time.
All right, one more question.
If you sold the service to a trade show, whereby the user had the opportunity to use the service as opposed to the exhibitor specifically to send stuff to the visitor, the visitor, and I'm asking, has the ability to, say, scan the exhibitor's QR code and then decide what he wants to do with that QR code, whether he wants to file it in some category. I mean, does your app have the ability to make folders for specific applications? What to do with that exhibitor's information?
Well, the user has options in terms of a few, like privacy options, in terms of whether I want to share my information with the exhibitor, whether I want to receive information from the exhibitor. In terms of storing information, the app is not actually storing information. It stores a pointer to the exhibitor so I know which exhibitor I went to. But if I interacted with you as an exhibitor, you would send me email with your information. But I, as a user, can block the email, or I could use the app without signing in, and I can still get information from you that you would display on the app, but you wouldn't be able to send me information in the background. So you have some control as a user to control what you get.
Do you have the ability to control what the exhibitor gets from you?
You do have some options for blocking what you give. You can, for instance, you can mark your email and phone number as private, so they don't get your email and phone number. Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
And thank you, DNewTech community, for presenting all those great questions. The next up is Sagor from Involve. And I'm excited to see this presentation because I just came from the higher ed space and I worked for the communications officer of a college. And handling college events was always tricky. Did you have a presentation up here?
I do. It's on the desktop.
Okay. Sagor?
Do I have a clicker, or do I have a clicker, or do I just have to?
You have to use the mouse.
Okay, that's fine. So hi everyone, my name is Sagor Bhuiyan, and I'm here with our app Involve. And so the app pretty much, I guess in a nutshell, allows all your campus events to be pushed to your smartphone. And so why campus events? Because on average, the four-year public institutions have nearly $400,000 allocated to marketing, special events, activities, even discounts on sports and tickets for their students. And so what we found is that of that $400,000, nearly $100,000 is wasted. And so this is because usually students aren't able to fully understand what their universities are not able to fully understand what their students want. And when it comes down to emails and emails, posters, flyers, and whatnot, there's always an information overload because students are presented with many different information that's oftentimes not relevant to them. And on top of that, when you have information that's sent and not relevant to the students, oftentimes you'll have events that aren't full to capacity. And so we've had a chance to talk to over 150 students, and we found out that in general, people do not attend events, attend a lot of events. And so what that pretty much implies is that there's a greater factor for quality over quantity. So even if events are very beneficial to the participants, they'll pretty much move mountains to attend that event. And so what we come across is we want to make sure that the users that are participating in the events or users that are initially setting up the events are able to crowdsource what they want to see at that event. So this in turn increases the transparency between the university administrators and students. So university administrators are able to better understand the interests and the wants of their students, so that way they can prioritize what's most important for the student body. This also saves the universities from having terrible events, their reputation online, as well as the overall community impact. Furthermore, we've had a chance to talk to different universities, and we found out that they currently use a point-based system in order to incentivize and reward students who attend events, so that way they somehow try to compensate for a lack of attendance. And so what we also figured out is that there currently isn't a framework in place for figuring out what students walk in, what time they leave, what their majors are, things like that. It's currently done on paper. And so having an app would definitely greatly increase participation, as well as their overall framework and their system. Finally, we've had a chance to figure out that if students are only interested in a particular sector, that's pretty much what they should receive. So if they're interested in technology, most of their content should be geared towards technology. Or if it's fashion and something else, then it should be only what they're interested in. And so we're looking to serve nearly 10.5 million students that have smartphones on campuses. And so this comes down to nearly 1,000 public institutions that have, on average, nearly $400,000 that they spend, of which nearly $100,000 is wasted. Along with campus events, we found out that local sponsors, such as local businesses and whatnot, are greatly interested in promoting their products and their services because of the different attractions and the exposure that they receive. And so this also gives us a chance to reach out to the different local businesses in that community. So as I mentioned, a lot of the different apps currently have a wonderful way of presenting information, whether it is what time the event takes place, when it's happening, or where it's happening, and so on. But what they miss out on is the community engagement from crowdsourcing the event. So in turn, organizers can allow the audiences themselves to give their input. So what type of content they would like to see, what kind of venue, the food, the speaker, the format. Should it be a Q&A? Should it be a networking session? When and where? And of course, this is all dependent on the organizers themselves of what they think should be fit for crowdsourcing. And so that's pretty much what the different competitors out there miss out on, being able to empower the audience themselves to be involved all the way from the beginning through the event creation process. And so what we're looking at is generally a subscription model for universities as well as businesses. We've also noticed that student organization presidents have developed or expressed a great interest in figuring out how they can grow their memberships based on figuring out who's walking through their events, what their majors are, what their interests are, so that way they can better understand these are the students that we want to target for our next event. Currently the team consists of myself. I have previously had a medical device startup where we've won second place at Accelerator, Michigan. From there, I'm also a participant at Tech Town where we've had a chance to talk to over 150 students and customers to figure out what kind of things that they find important in the app itself. We also have a lead developer from CompuWare working on the app, as well as 2 grad students from Wayne State University. And so currently we're in the beta stage. So we have a closed beta where we've invited students to test out the app, give us feedback, and so now we're doing as much as we can so that way we're gearing towards, I guess, opening it up to different campuses. So of course it's going to be a gradual process, not all at once. And currently we have our website, so we invite you to check out our website and anticipate the upcoming launch of the app itself. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for your time. And at this time, we'll entertain a question and answer for the next 5 minutes.
Does your app integrate with existing calendars and social media?
Currently not at the moment, so it's pretty much a Android app and it's natively based on your calendar. And so if you use Google Calendar, why not? You should be able to sync up with Google Calendar as well. So it'll give. What's that?
But not my calendar. Sorry, the Apple calendar.
Oh, so yeah, right now it's just based on Android, and so once we figure out that there is a very strong need for Android, we definitely open it up to the Apple iOS as well.
I was going to say, I liked your presentation. I like the fact that you thought about revenue streams and competitors and the basics of the business. The question I have is, how are you going to protect your technology and to make it as unique as rapidly as these things are developed?
Well, I think for that it's pretty much generally first to market and then how you execute. And so, of course, there's already, I guess, wonderful upvoting, downvoting sites such as Reddit or other different sites, right? Mm-hmm. And so we can't necessarily protect the IP, but we can only make sure that we're catering to a specific niche that finds value in what we're doing. Yes.
Do you have any competitors? Are there any apps out here that are similar to what you're doing?
Absolutely. So there's apps such as Plantcast, and so what they do is they allow, I guess, different members to pitch what they want, and then they aggregate around, or they gather around. It's kind of similar to Meetup, except for events, and so or for outings and activities. So they gather around let's say skydiving, and then they would all go to that event or something like that. So there are different competitors.
What would make yours unique? Why would someone use your app or someone else's?
Absolutely. So we focus specifically on universities. And so initially, universities, because they miss out a great deal on how to efficiently promote their activities and their events to the student body. On top of that, we have, I guess, a way for universities to better understand their students, their interests, give them analytics on what majors walking through their events and how they can better prioritize things that they find important for their student body. Yes.
Well, you need to rank competitors. I mean, like up to, I just talked to the guys yesterday at TEDx, and they were looking for some type of, APIs that they can actually work with. APIs to work with for the on the calendars aspect, and I don't know if that's something consider in the instead of considering them competitors, maybe try to kind of roll it out to companies like that since they've already got the funding.
So, yeah, I was definitely told the same thing, such as maybe Kutemperor or whatnot. They're always looking for different ways to, whether it is how to better crowdsource the events or different angles to improve their business as well. So definitely open to that. Yes.
Are you shopping this around to other universities? And if not, when do you think you'll be ready? And sorry, third, have you thought about like skinning it for the particular university so it looks more like their app?
Absolutely. So currently we are piloting it at Wayne State University, and so it's kind of, I guess, trying to gear it towards Wayne State's colors, so green and gold. And we're definitely going to roll it out to as many universities as possible. So it's going to be kind of like an exclusive university type of feel for that particular student body. And yeah, we're definitely looking to expand as many different universities as possible. And I guess the other aspect is we're not necessarily restricted to just universities and events. It's pretty much any two organizations that need to figure out how they can better be transparent about what they're doing or opinions and decisions and whatnot. So there's also opportunities in that aspect.
Yeah, where you have, let's say you're on this university campus and we're doing something at Meadowbrook and we have 10,000 students here at the same time, is the infrastructure going to support and allow that volume to talk to each other at that time?
At the moment, of course not, but we're definitely expanding our servers and whatnot. But I guess the way it works is that we want to categorize, so I guess you mentioned 10,000 students. So if it is different interests and whatnot that they have, we'll try to figure out what that event would particularly benefit which students and then blast it out to them. So that way they're receiving something that's relevant to them. So we'll try to make sure that that 10,000 becomes efficiently marketable.
All right, one more question.
What was your estimated timeline? Getting back to his question over there.
So timeline, so right now we are finishing up our beta feedbacks and whatnot. So we're hoping to have a pilot study done through Wednesday, maybe beginning of next semester. And so by then, we will, after that semester finishes, we'll eventually open it up to as many universities as possible. So we're looking most likely fall of next semester. Or sorry, fall of next year.
Fall of next year.
Yes, for other universities to be involved.
You look for funding?
Absolutely. Yes, exactly.
Very good, thank you. And thanks again, DNewTech community, for engaging some great questions. See if I can bring up. Okay, our next presenter is Norman Kutemperor. Am I saying that correctly? Yes, right. And it sounds very much like entrepreneur, so that's a great last name. And they have big solutions for big data, at least 1 trillion calculations. Your website said. I mean, that's pretty big, trillion. So unfortunately, your presentation didn't make it over.
Okay.
But
I will just, can I bring the website up?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you have something else online that you can use.
Well, thanks everybody. Excited to be here. This is one of the few times that I did not have a backup copy of my presentation. I usually have an email it to myself or something like that, but I just didn't think it was necessary, so I apologize for that. Again, my name is Norman Kutemperor, Chief Technology Officer for Scientel Technologies. We've been in business for about 30 plus years, founded in 1977. And one of the things that we did in our company is we started developing a database management system far back in the 80s for small business computers. And what happened is IBM released a SQL database, and that became very popular. So we kind of had to re-strategize as to what to do with our product because it's not a SQL database. But we discovered though that the big data age is coming, and SQL databases do have a big vulnerability dealing with large amounts of data. Basically how it works is that the structured databases keep data in a structured table, and these tables are joined to create an additional table from which the query is conducted. So what happens is these additional tables require additional space. For example, if you have a 2 gigabyte file joining with another 2 gigabyte file, the resultant file is another 4 gigabyte file or even bigger. So that cuts into the available space that the computer has, all in all, to keep all your data. So when you're looking at small business databases, it's usually not a problem because a lot of computers these days don't use all the space that's available. But when you're looking at big data, you can have actually more data than what the computer can hold. And that's exactly what is happening these days. So big data has come, and SQL databases are having difficulty dealing with all these databases. So when we found that out in the 90s, we decided to develop a database that is not SQL and uses a different kind of a technology. And being a small company, we had difficulty getting that product into the market and so forth. And now that the big data is here, the market is ready for that. And what has actually happened is all the internet giants who used to use SQL databases to run all their businesses like Google all crashed with SQL databases. So what happened is Google, Amazon, Yahoo, Facebook, AOL, all these companies didn't know what to do, and computer technology companies were of no help, so they developed their own NoSQL databases. That opened up the market. And now in the last 5 years, a lot of companies have come into the market. They're coming up with NoSQL databases. So that's our product, and the market is now available, and we're looking to market this product on a national basis. The other thing about SQL databases is that they are designed to handle commercial or what's called structured data. Data is usually held in a table, and if the data can be organized as a table, it is nice. But today we're generating lots of data. We're generating zettabytes of data. For example, in one day, today, we create more data than what we used to create 10 years altogether in the 90s and in the last century and last decade. So big data is coming at a very fast rate, and more requirements for analyzing data are coming along, and the storage and the analytics requirements for big data is here. And basically our database is what we call not only a NoSQL database, it's all SQL, in the sense that it's capable of handling SQL type data and also NoSQL type data. It has two different structures for handling unstructured data versus structured data, all in a single database. Today, a lot of companies are keeping Oracle or IBM type database for their structured data, and they're adding new databases like MongoDB and MarkLogic and so forth for storing unstructured data. For example, Facebook runs on a database called Cassandra. And the ability of these NoSQL databases is that it can scale to very large volumes of data. Our company has developed a data system that is capable of handling petabytes of data and large amounts of transactional data as well. So that's the marketplace, and we're looking for some funding to take our company forward. In the last 20, 30 years, we were doing service for small businesses and medium businesses. And this is an international and very large market, and some funding is required to take the company forward to market this across the country. So that's where we're at.
Very good. Thank you for your presentation. All right, and so 5 minutes of question and answer.
Is this different in the sense that it's a flat file versus other types of database?
No, actually it is not. Flat file is really not considered as a database, although many databases can read flat files. But the problem with flat files is there is no way to search all of that data. So you have to have indexing mechanisms. The way we do that is that we don't support flat files inside the database, but we can read and write into flat files. We support two different types of data structures, one designed to handle structured data, much like the SQL databases, another one designed to handle streaming data. For example, what you're doing over there, that kind of data that is being recorded there is coming at very high speed, and it has no structures to it. It's a stream of data, usually gigabytes, megabytes large, so we put that into a different unstructured data within the database.
Your business is 30 plus years
Yes,
old?
absolutely. We were founded in 1977.
So how much do you need for this funding, and what are you going to use the funding for?
The need for funding is for further development and marketing of the product. Big data was ignored by a lot of big companies, and now a lot of companies are getting into it. Large companies like EMC, Oracle, and IBM have gotten into it, but they only got into it recently. So the competition is with larger companies. So we're looking at typically maybe to the order of about $10 million in funding to properly market this product. And we're looking at very large mainframe type computer systems that can handle large varieties of data. And that is not the only product. We also have smaller products that is capable of doing that at the low end as well.
And where is your business located?
Bingham Farms.
Are you working with a consultant?
Yes. Yes, we are. We're talking to several investment companies and consultants to steer us forward. And thank you very much. And give you all my prayer as well.
So you mentioned you had other products too, but the product that you're talking about tonight, it's already on the market. I'm trying to understand it, but you're also saying you're looking to further develop it?
Well, our company, what it is doing now is, while we're emphasizing on this, we do have our own small business products that we sell in some smaller companies.
But you want this to be your core focus, the larger
Absolutely, yeah.
enterprise?
Because the opportunity for this is worldwide, and they're estimating that the big data, total data analytics and infrastructure market is going to reach $1 trillion by 2020. Let me give you one example. General Electric just put out this data that one of their GE aircraft engines puts out 1 terabyte of data per hour. So if you're looking at a flight from San Francisco to New York, that is 6 hours. You've got 2 engines, you're looking at 12 megabytes of data. 12 terabytes of data produced right there. And in the United States, there are 2,700 flights. And this data is going to be required to be recorded by somebody. And it has to be captured and analyzed. And part of the thing about this data is that as you analyze this data as it is generating, they can predict engine failures and so forth. So that's just one example. And another example is that we used to create films for movies. Well, with the HD, a movie is about 27 gigabytes big. So when Steven Spielberg makes a movie, he used to make 60 films and distribute it to 60 studios. Now they're going to make 1,000 copies of it and send it to 1,000 studios and theaters all at the same time. So that is 27,000 gigabytes of data created right there. And think about all the movies and all the music, all of that we're doing. And they're going to end up in computers. They're not ending up anywhere else. And that computers have to be backed up. It has to be stored. It has to be searched and found. And this is the type of database that we're looking at. And those are just 2 distinct examples. And all of our phones have at least gigabytes of data. And many of us cannot find, as you probably know, many of us cannot find our pictures, our PDF files. All of this is going to have to be stored and managed somehow so we can find data. I just read a report saying that average companies losing 33% of their labor force looking and searching and managing documents because it is not saved in a database.
One more question.
So,
you mentioned Cassandra, but there's a number of open source and also a lot of money going into this place. How are you different than the current competitors and the ones that are more heavily funded than you are right now?
well, open source is a good thing for companies to download programs, but you have to have qualified people behind it. So that is an example of why we pay $99 for Windows when the Linux operating system, which is more comprehensive than Windows, is free.
Yeah, but there's a model that basically has open source systems like Google and things that support that side.
Understand. But what I was saying is that many of the database companies, what they're doing is they are open sourcing the low-end product. But when you get to larger versions of their product, there's usually a subscription charge and there is fees involved.
Is that your plan, or what's your plan to go forward?
Well, you know, that's the type of thing that we would also like to do. We have a small version, the small business version versus the large version. So when the financial partners come in, we like to evaluate that. And my personal vote is to go with the small business version so that people can use it and enjoy it. And at the larger end, companies who can afford it should pay for the service. So those are the type of things that I really need some financial consultants to come in and help us figure it out. And that's the reason for looking for the funding right now. That was a good question.
Thank you for your presentation. And again, thank you, DNewTech community, for all your engaging questions. Our next candidate, we have Carmine, who I met just today. He let me know that he's working on his political campaign.
Yes.
But on the side, he also has a IT services business that he's going to run until he gets a call in 2016.
Do you want to take one of that? Great. Yeah, so apparently I am running for Congress, so in the future, not tomorrow, if you do see my name for Congress, give it a second chance. We've already actually come up with my campaign slogan. It's, I go to OU, I can't be that bad. So, with that in mind, I'm going to present to you guys on my company, TCOM TDM. I see a few familiar faces out there. Please keep the heckling to a minimum. So, this said, TCOM TDM is my company. It's enterprise-level IT resources on a small budget for small business. I do apologize, I have to stare at the screen a lot. A lot going on this week. About the presentation, I like to keep it simple. I'm going to answer the who, what, when, where, and how. Please hold your questions to the end. My mission statement of TCOM TDM is to augment technologies targeted at increasing productivity and creating a strong return on investment for information technologies, information systems, and data storage. To move back to the who, what, when, where, why, and how, my name is Carmine Tenaglia. I'm a Michigan native. I grew up in Washington Township, about 6 miles to the east. I currently live in Rochester, which is probably only 5 miles to the east. I didn't move very far. I am currently a sophomore at Oakland University, where you're at, and I am studying computer sciences at the School of Science and Engineering. I am a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. I did 5 years active duty, and I'm still a member of the Marine Corps Reserves. I love my country, and I love what I get to do with it. I have 10 years experience in IT, and that experience was gained through a mixture of my time in the Marine Corps as well as my time working with other corporations. So while I'm not the most experienced, I do know quite a bit about IT by now. What is TCOM TDM? TCOM TDM is a service sector information technology company. We lease organizations IT assets on a monthly basis. This is their hardware, such as their desktops, laptops, scanners, printers, their software, such as Microsoft Office, Microsoft Office, Adobe Standard, Adobe Professional, things of that nature, but we don't necessarily touch on ERP softwares or proprietary softwares where the wealth of knowledge is not highly available. And then we additionally do service on all the software and hardware we provide. This is all done on a month-to-month basis through a month-to-month service agreement. To give you a quick idea of this, this is a quick Excel calculator I use when trying to calculate how much I'll charge companies for the services I offer them, or the hardware and services I offer them. Just going through it so you can get an idea of it. It goes, high-performance laptops, high portability laptops, Apple's, accessories such as additional RAM, power supplies, docking stations, the full kit and caboodle. And this is a shortened version because I'm not looking to waste everyone's time with my Excel sheets. At the bottom, I get a total of laptops, desktops, Apple software. I know what to charge them on a month-to-month basis. Why is TCOM TDM doing this? IT is currently at a turning point. Organizations no longer need their own expensive IT infrastructure. Many of these expensive solutions are now software as a service, SaaS. It's a common term you'll start to see more and more around the internet. Cloud computing can cover 90% of an organization's previous required IT needs. In today's environment, the only assets an organization needs to bring to the table are the computers, the tablets, and the printers. Some common examples of this are Microsoft Office 365, which is offering the MS Office suite, which we all know and love, as well as email service. So there's no longer a need to have your email server on site, wasting electricity, and as I joke with my other IT compatriots, at risk for a meteorite strike. That's a liability you don't want to have on hand. Additionally, there's services such as Amazon S3, which does your file storage and SQL databasing. Not competitive to you, it's a different type, I promise. You also have GoDaddy to host your website, and sites like Box.com, which have file storage, or Carbonite, which will do your network backups. So the goal is to get as much of the bare metal server off-site of your company and into the cloud so that you don't have to worry about it. It lowers your liability. Thank you. The reason I get this is because I do believe that IT works on a 12-year cycle. Since the dawn of the computer in the 1970s, there's been a heavy reliance on the desktop. And then about 12 years later, we saw the mainframe environment in the mid-1980s. Heavy reliance on the server, and then low reliance on the terminal or the computer end. Then we came up to the dot-com bubble, where it was a heavy reliance on the desktop or laptop, but a low reliance on the server, except to browse the web. And then now, we're at the dawn of the cloud, where it's a heavy reliance on the server again, low reliance on the desktop. I believe this model will work for 12 years based on this cyclic system that we seem to go through. Where will this work? I'm targeting small to medium-sized organizations with 50 computers or less, specifically in law, insurance, and financial firms, small manufacturing operations, and real estate operations. Is that time? Read it.
Very good, Carmen. We elect you. And at this time, we will entertain 5 minutes of question and answer.
First thing, please.
So when it comes to leasing, setting up your service agreements, and charging monthly, how does that work?
In short, the idea is I know how much the computer is going to cost. I amortize that against 36 months. I set up these service contracts for them. I know how much that's going to cost every month. And then I charge them a percentage overhead for maintaining these services as well as their unlimited support. Because by buying into me or my company, you get unlimited support. And because I've been doing this for long enough, I know how long it takes to support each one of these assets. So that's just a simple mathematical calculation that you saw on that Excel sheet.
The support, does that happen on-site or is that remote?
The goal is to target companies within 15 miles of 48307. I really want to keep my response time or my company's response time down to below 15 minutes. Let's be honest, most work can be done nowadays via remote troubleshooting. And that's a great tool for me. It's a cost saver, it's a money multiplier, it's a manpower multiplier, but I'm never afraid to stop in person. That's really what keeps my clients with me. I have a great personal relationship with all the clients I already have, and that's the most valuable thing. So on-site visits are never out of the question, and that's why I like to keep it local. I saw a hand here somewhere, no?
I was just going to
Yes.
ask you, what's the competition like? Are there a lot of people leasing the services and the equipment?
There's been a lot of talk of this. I was working with a business advisor recently, and I'd rather not go into the details. It was through OU Inc. It was, but where we've kind of left it is there are other major competition out there in the field, but they're targeting enterprise level organization. And the real one that I point to, and I use as my common example, is EDS or HP's EDS now. They're not targeting people with less than 50 computers. They're targeting Fortune 1000s. So I don't know of, I've searched high and low, I don't know of a direct threat to me in this area, and by that I mean southeastern Michigan, that's leasing organizations with service included to computers to organizations of less than 50.
So I'm going to guess that you have some way that you show your customer you're able to save them time and money by leasing versus buying.
That is part of my ambition with the I2B program, which is, I'm sorry, I should back up a little bit. I'm part of something called the I2B program, which is sponsored by OU. And it's an idea to business program. It enables me resources to better understand business as a whole. And I'm hoping that at a later point you or you would be able to speak more to the I2B program. Refresh me on your question.
No, I was just asking you.
How I'm going to show my ROI or TCO, return on investment or total cost of ownership.
Yeah, buy versus.
Those are things I struggle with. I have numbers. I like my numbers, but it doesn't mean business owners agree with them. And so really I'm trying to hound into those. I can show them because a lot of people are depending on people who know nothing about IT to do their IT work. And that costs them money. And it's really hard to show or prove to them that their email being down for 24 hours cost them upwards of $6,000. And that's where I need my help is proving these things.
I'm going to help you on one piece.
Yes, please.
One of the other things isn't necessarily just the fact that it saves money. One of it is that it allows you to, as a business, to stay with current state-of-the-art technology. When you invest in buying infrastructure such as this room has 30 laptops in it and they're all tied together, but we had a major investment in that software, or in that hardware. We've got to upgrade it now in 2 years. It's already obsolete. Whereas in a leasing environment, you have the ability to upgrade that technology as technology changes. And that is going to be one of his stronger platforms. It's that not only are you able to get that help where you have, as a small company, you have very limited resources. You might not have an IT specialist. You might not have that kind of support. And you're going to have to lease that support anyway. This way you're leasing the support with the hardware where the tech support already knows the hardware, and it allows you to replace at an earlier time without having to make additional infrastructure and investments. So the return on investment becomes more than a cost benefit. It becomes a service benefit as well, but it also is allowing you and enabling you to keep up with state-of-the-art technology as you grow your business.
She really knocked that one out of the park for me. She did. Couldn't have worded it better.
We're in the coaching mode here.
You want to demonstrate a cost savings.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Like you said,
agree.
if it's 20, that's a big place to do it. If you're 20, you have unlimited service. That's a big place you can do it.
The goal, and 1 second, Bree. The goal is to actually replace out the majority of assets in 3 years and certain assets that have a lower depreciation rate at a 5-year basis. So I really remember, I need to remember this so I can add that into my PowerPoint because that is the goal, 3 to 5 years for most replacements.
One more question?
Real quick, how many businesses are in your target market area? Have you identified them?
As best I know, and this comes from searches through the internet, and you can never quantify how reliable.
Yeah.
We'd already talked about that.
We can just, so everybody, for the benefit of everybody here in the room, we can give you that by sales, by geography, by the number of PCs, by the number of square feet, number of employees. So if you're limiting yourself to that 15-mile radius, you need to know how many businesses are out there.
That's what I did. I used it. I keep calling it Dubs, D&DS. Is that?
We have a
Dunford and Brand.
Dun and Bradstreet, but we have one that's better.
Yeah, I would love that, and I will come see you. But you know, I believe it's close to 35,000 businesses that meet my criteria. Yes, 15 miles at 48307. So that is merging into Macomb County. But then again, it's really hard to quantify because, and I believe your data is much better than mine. You know, you don't know how many of these LLCs have gone out of the good graces of business since this information was most recently compiled.
Carmen, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody who didn't get a business card? I attempted to pass them around the room. No, I just want to make sure everyone got one.
Sorry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat tonight. Will Smith is with us. He was with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air, and he came back. He started a business converting, sounds like any car to an electric car. And he has some amazing successes with that. A recent world record, is that right? About a
Guinness
car,
World Record.
Guinness World Record of a car that ran for 24 hours straight.
Not actually a car, but an electric vehicle.
An electric vehicle. And with that, I'll hand it over to Will Smith.
So this weekend we had, and probably that's why my presentation is as great as I wanted it to be, because I didn't get any sleep. We ran 24 hours in Windsor in front of the casino for an EV, and we ran it for 24 hours straight with 3 different people driving it. So basically we were one guy on, 2 guys off, one guy on, 2 guys, and so on. So we continued to run this car, and we won the X Prize, so which was worth $10,000. Thank you, Sun Country and a couple other vendors. So if you look out this door, actually if you did earlier, you'd see a truck, a couple of trucks out there, And there's a battery in that, and we converted that car off of lead acid into lithium ion so that it could have a longer range and that the university could use it. One of the problems that, and there's a lot of debate about this, is there's climate change. We're the solution for that. Electricity really is, because electricity is can be generated from so many different sources. There's enough wind energy in North Dakota, South Dakota to power the United States for the next 600 years and solve our energy problems. The problem is storing electricity, and that's where batteries, lithium, that sort of thing comes into play. Now, if you can put that in together with an automobile, now all of a sudden you've got something that you can run both ways and solve where when we need peak energy, we can pull it from our automobiles, but we can also use that automobile for propulsion. Now, some people are skeptics about that. One of the things that we did this year with the help of Oakland University and Macomb Community College students is we built a Prius with as much battery power as a Tesla Roadster. And we took that car and put it on a NASCAR track, and we used 0.1389 gallons of fuel to go 120 miles. So if you do the math, that ends up being 863 miles per gallon that we got, and we won more money for that. So obviously we're reinvesting that in the business. We also used the same vehicle. We drove it all the way to Pennsylvania on $11. So it does use gasoline at a certain point because gasoline is actually more effective and has a higher power density, so we end up using that as well. So one of the things that we're looking at doing as far as energy storage is there's countries, we ship to 19 different countries right now, or have, and there's some countries that don't have a stable power system. They could use their automobile to help stabilize that grid. We're working with a solar manufacturer right now to help set up an energy storage where they can use their automobile not only for transportation, but to use it to power their home at night, you know, or whatever they can do, or whatever they want to use it for, basically. They started converting cars to run on electricity. As you can see here, my nephew was in an all-electric 1969 Austin Healey. One of the great things about this car is we put an electric motor in it, and that helped keep another classic on the road if you're a car buff. And then this car here we did for a former Harvard professor, Dr. Mark Shalinsky. That's his personal vehicle. You'll see that around Ann Arbor. He absolutely loves the car. The other thing he says about the car is it's great therapy. It's the best therapy he's ever bought. So, one of the things that I always say to folks that are kind of they don't feel electric cars are a great option for us is that Henry Ford's wife could drive any car she wanted. That car is still sitting at their house down in Dearborn at their home area. So, and we can provide the solution with electricity at this point. We're at the point where we can use our cars to solve our energy problems and store that energy. We just need to put it together as a package. And that's it.
1 minute.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. All right, and 5 minutes of question and answers starting now.
Go ahead.
So what's exactly your product?
We either will convert a car to run on electricity, or we will take an existing hybrid and we'll add battery power to it. One of our customers, for example, in this building was Toyota. They wanted a car that would go 100 miles on a charge and present that.
So it's R&D mostly?
Some of it is. Some of it is. We have consumers too. 2 weeks from now, I have a former NASA engineer. He wants one of our kits in his Prius so that he can extend the battery range and be able to drive that car more on electricity and less on the gasoline. And it's a lot cheaper than buying a plug-in Prius. It's, the savings on it is almost $5,000. Yes?
How are you charging the battery? Is it a plug-in charge, or is it just charging from the engine itself?
It charges from the plug. Now, keep in mind, at this point, and it may change, but most charging stations are free. Oakland University has 2 on the other side of campus. If you have an electric car or a Volt or a plug-in Prius or one of our conversions, you can plug in for free, and this particular customer here with the Porsche plugs in at Detroit Edison for free. Also, you get a reduced rate. The cost of electricity at $3.50 a gallon is 1/16 the cost of gasoline. So, and one of our biggest problems right now, I was driving past the gas station, and they've got E85 for $2.50 a gallon. So that's killing us. Yes?
How does your retrofit cost compare to, say, getting a new Tesla?
Well, a new Tesla is going to cost you about $80,000 to $160,000, depending on which battery package that you buy. Our conversion, this Porsche, we did for $40,000. In fact, this particular customer, the day that I delivered this car to him, his brother, who is an entertainment lawyer in Toronto, he bought a new Tesla S, talk about a sibling rivalry, paid $160,000 Canadian so that he could one-up his brother. Pardon me?
That was good. And just for the record, in the new parking ramp over on West Campus, we do have more charging stations.
Yes.
So
yes.
We're getting there.
This isn't a question. This is more of, I've ridden in that Porsche before, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
Curious.
And by the way, I owe you $10.
Before I get your perspective, when Nissan did the Leaf, and everybody's seen it, it kind of looks funny in the front because the car was so quiet that they had to address the aerodynamics because the wind noise became loud enough.
Right.
So now as you go back and retrofit these cars, are you doing anything to help with the wind noise? Because also these cars are not designed for that such a quiet ride.
We are not. Our primary focus is on the battery storage. So that's the next entrepreneur. Yes.
Are you doing any work on battery chemistry?
We are not, but there is another company here in OU Inc.
Another tenant client here that is doing battery research on battery chemistry.
By the way, they won't leave us alone.
That is one of the beauties of the technology center out here is the clients do have an opportunity to interface and talk with each other. We also have a battery company at Incubator as well. And then we also have a couple faculty that are doing battery research. So we do have kind of a small cluster of different applications and battery storage, battery use.
This company that she's talking about, they hit their milestone. They had was a $2 million grant or a $4 million grant, and they hit that milestone. But the problem for them is they don't have a car to put it in. They don't know. Once they build it, they need to be able to test it.
That might not end up being a car application. When they went through their customer exploration, they went through the I-Core program, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but in the energy space and the transportation space, U of M and Next Energy do an I-Core program. And we have our clients that are in those spaces go down and go through that program. And it does lead you through a lot of customer exploration. And they found that their target market really isn't about mobility anymore. It's in storage, in stationary storage. So they've done a pivot with their business model based on what they discovered, that the better use of the battery technology that they are working on actually is in long-term stationary storage.
And one more question.
Yes.
I read, I think, something in the presentation, I just wanted to confirm that this will not affect this plug-in technology, will not affect the warranty on a car.
No,
Did I read that incorrectly?
No, it doesn't. There's a law in the United States. It's the it's something Morrison Act or whatever, and it won't affect will not affect the warranty on the vehicle. Cool. It's like the equivalent of putting in a radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can put in whatever stereo you want.
Will the state give you any credit?
Michigan does not. The state of Colorado gives you 75 cents on the dollar. In fact, one of our partnership, they were given 90. You know, you could have an $11,000 unit installed for $1,000. Michigan, unfortunately, is not doing anything, and that is one of the key problems for us is that major manufacturers get a $7,500 credit on a vehicle, where we don't get anything, and we don't have a lobby strong enough to get that. So,
Yeah,
and
we
that's,
just had one of our clients that's working on a technology that helps reduce the cost of driving a car or vehicle. Was looking to see if there was some way he could help advocate to change that.
right.
One area might be, there's an organization in Michigan called the Michigan Energy Innovation Business Council, which I'll get you in connection with.
That might have been.
I actually sit on the board of that organization, and that's one of the strong purposes of it, is it has an arm that is that is able to go in and help influence and advocate for policy changes, especially where it comes to innovation. So we want to make sure that any of you that are in that space, that we get you the information about MIEIBC, or Energy Innovation Business Council, because that's what it was developed and designed to do, is to pull together and be a voice for the energy and transportation industry sector.
Yeah, that might have been where he was referred to, too. I'm going to double check.
Let me know if I can.
Well, thank you for your presentation. Okay, with that, that concludes the 5 presentations that we had this evening and our question and answer time. At this time, Tom, do we have anything to present for upcoming meetings?
Usually at the end, we normally want to see if anybody have any announcements about their own groups or their own events or anything around things that you want to share, due to the fact that there's a lot of events coming around. I can share with you, DNewTech meets the first Wednesday every month. We mostly meet in the Detroit area, so again, most likely it's going to be in one of Dan Gilbert's building in November, and our guest speaker would be James Thuru of Mission Dorado. So he's an investor for Mission Dorado, and we're always looking for presenters. So if you guys have if anyone knows of anybody who wants to present, please contact one of us.
Okay, we have another person here. Yeah, Ben?
Hey, I'm Ben. This is my first DNewTech meetup. I'll definitely be at upcoming DNewTech meetup. I'm with the Urban Entrepreneurship Initiative. We just founded over the summer, and we have a symposium that's going to be our launch. We have over 200 people attending. We're really excited. So register at urbanei.net. Basically, our focus is on solving urban problems through entrepreneurship. So doing a lot of the work that nonprofits do, that social activists do, but trying to put it into a for-profit business model. So going into communities, seeing what are the problems, what do people need, and providing those services. So sometimes those are very hard, like clean water. Sometimes all we need is a bowling lane for a good neighborhood. But it really ranges, and it's all about going out there, asking the community what it needs. So we're really excited. We're going to have Jill Ford, who's the entrepreneurial advisor to Mayor Duggan. She did some work in Ghana, and she did some work in San Francisco, and now she's doing some work in Detroit. She's really great. I met with her, very engaging. So if you want, you can give me your business card, and I'd be more than happy to send you more information about it, but tickets are going fast.
Where is it?
It's going to be over in Ann Arbor at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library, 8 to 2 on next Friday, October 10th.
You can actually go to our DNewTech, David Tarver. I just had lunch with him the other day.
Yes.
And so basically he's heading our organization. So you can go to our website and just go from there and then register to on their
David Tarver's the brainchild of it. He's from Flint, worked back at Bell Labs back in the 70s, done work many countries all over the world. And yeah, we're very excited. So please come find me after.
Long as you're on Ann Arbor, Ignite Ann Arbor number 9. Ignite is kind of like a mini TED Talk. It's 20 slides automatically advancing every 15 seconds, so it's exactly a 5-minute talk. So if you have a story you want to tell in 5 minutes, you can apply to speak at igniteannarbor.org. That'll be November 7th at night. Also, DNewTech, of which DNewTech is a spinoff, is always the third Tuesday of every month in Ann Arbor, and it's very much similar to this. There's also a Michigan MI Cities event this Saturday or next Friday, something like that. MI Cities, if you look for that, you'll find it. It's It's more like hacking your city's data. So it's the whole idea of open link data.
Nice, pretty cool. Yeah, we did 2-1. I mean, it's just one of those places. It's free food, free drinks, everything, but it's just one of the coolest places you can be at. You want to hear some innovation and great.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, it's very much like TEDx talks, but it's small, it's quicker. We have 8 in the first half and 8 in the second half, and then there's always an after party.
Is that the Ignite Ann Arbor?
IgniteAnnArbor.org.
Okay.
Real quick, if I may.
Speak up so people can hear you.
Oakland County is also developing a Tech 248, which is technology initiative. It's in its infancy stages, but if you go to our website, advantageoakland.com, and take a look at that, and there's also, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Pure Michigan Business Connect that the MEDC does. You can register your business, and you can get invited to pitch for larger companies like DTE or some of the other energy companies. It's free. If you just Google Pure Michigan Connect, and if you do it through the Oakland County website, you're automatically registered for both. So with all of your startups, and if you're looking for funding, it's a great opportunity for you to get on those sites.
Did you have one? She has one.
My name is Sophie. I work for Inkwell. It's a venture capital fund that was founded by Tom Lasorda, who's the former CEO of Chrysler. We recently opened a co-working space in downtown Birmingham. Just about a week or 2 ago, so we're giving tours. If anyone's interested, you could come find me after and I'll give you a little more information.
Would you do DNewTech there?
I don't think the space that we have right now would be very conducive for it, but we're opening up another space downstairs in the same building that would be perfect for it. That's opening in December, so
Perfect.
I'll get back in touch.
Also, has anybody been to ACE, Annual Collaboration for Entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
That's another one that's coming up the end of January. It's sponsored by all the Michigan startup community.
That's awesome. If you haven't been there, that's...
Yeah, you get 1,000 people, 1,000 entrepreneurs, investors, and service providers. Pretty much everybody here probably should go.
You got one back here?
Hey, I'm Dan from Bite & More. We're a boutique workspace in Troy. We had a lot of interest. I don't know how many folks heard, but we gave away a private office to a deserving entrepreneur. I don't know if he wants to release his company name yet, so I won't do it. But that just closed the other day, and I'd say to keep a lookout and see. We'll probably do it again. And it's a really quick, easy submission process, kind of, state what your company is, why you're deserving, why it's a good thing for you, and how it worked well for you. So keep an eye out in the future for it. We'll do it again pretty soon.
Is this a co-working space or what?
Well, no, it's a combination of different things. Co-working is a pretty small element of what we do. Private offices, service offices, support behind the offices, but we do have a co-working space and facility as well.
And just one more for my friends at the Detroit Creative Corridor. They have a creative venture residency program that starts this month. Actually, it's already started. They're looking for creative people who are in advertising, architecture, graphic, media production, or web design. And they're giving you, over $10,000 of resources to get you through this program. You just got to commit to 6 months. The application is open until October 24th.
And we'll put all these links, and anybody has announcements, put the link up in the comment section on this meetup, for this meetup. That way everybody can have a reference to what the links were.
2 other ones to be aware of. The Accelerate Michigan Innovation Conference and Competition is coming up next month in Lansing. So if you go to AMIC, there'll be a number of companies pitching. They've selected the semifinalists. There will be a lot of networking opportunities, and there'll be a lot of potential funders there as well. And then the other is anyone in the medical device field. Innovention 2014, coming up in just a couple of weeks at the Suburban Showcase. It's where anything medical that you've ever wanted to know. It's a live streamed conference. It grows exponentially each year. It's one of the emerging sectors out of Oakland County, but it is a regional Midwest initiative in the medical device, medical health, all things medical, a lot of IT medical. And there will be 5 or 6 companies pitching during the Shark Tank session. So I encourage you to come and participate and see, and investors will be critiquing them. It's been a fun and informative process each year. Last year we did have a company get funded, so it actually can result in funding. But it's a great conference. We expect it to be really big. There's some flyers up here, little cards on it up here, as well as there's information on the pitch competition for Macomb. There's some general information about OU Inc., and there's also the workshop schedules and information on Oakland County. So I hope that we've been able to share with you a vast number of resources, introduce you to some of our clients and our space. We will turn the lights on out in the pavilion, so if you want to wander out there, maybe see some of Will, if you've got a minute to stick around, and you want to see some of the product that he's developing and things, gives you a chance to kind of walk through the building and see what's going on.
We really want to thank you, Amy, and OU Inc. for offering us the space for tonight. Appreciate it.
And everyone must eat one more piece of pizza before they leave. There's only one box left. All right, everybody run. I'm proud of you guys. I just tweeted. I also put up on Facebook. I do.